Starting off with, to construct the body, we start off with, we've got our head. Yeah, so that could be either a circle or an upside down egg shape kind of our line that gives the direction or the movement, which is our center line. Our large oval shape, which is going to act as our torso block. Another oval shape, which is going to act as the pelvic block. We can then slice a part of it. So if you imagine, like, you know, when you're a kid and you're playing with Play-Doh and you could kind of cut a straight through it, we can use that to cut through to give us the bottom of our rib cage, because that is what this torso block goes on to create. We could also use the same splicing method to give us the kind of the sense of weight to the torso, to the pelvic block. Also, we could then cut out elements on the side. We then have our pivot point, which is just in the center. Like I said, you don't have to put this point in. I just find it helps to kind of add a sense of movement and sense of direction. We then put in our shoulders, which acts as circles. Top of the arm, bicep, tricep area. Remember that elbow joint is going to be in line with the bottom of the rib cage, so because it's moving out, then it'll be moving along that arc. And then bottom of the arms, so your forearms, similarly with the top of the leg and the bottom of the leg. So I'm just making this a lot smaller because we're running out of space. And then the feet, so those are all of the base components. Oh sorry, and of course the hands. Yeah, so this is just like your rough outline. We could also have for the neck. Alright, so those are the base elements of what you're going to be using to create your character, as we could see here on the left. Right, once you've done that, then it is important that you guys have at least a decent sense of anatomy, you know, understanding of how the bones and how the muscles work with the body, right? So then once you've done that, then you can start adding in more details for your character, you know. And as I said, having an understanding of where the muscles work, when one contracts, the other retracts. So you need to understand a base of anatomy, right? Now the best way to get an understanding of that, of course, you can study books and you can look at you can look at videos of anatomy, but the key thing is to work from reference, right? So this is an example of using the exact same method but just changing the pose, so actually using a better pose, and that gives us you know, a more dynamic pose rather than just kind of a stagnant stationary one. But before you guys get to that, then you're going to want to probably work with reference images, right? So we've got this example of a reference image here. Why it's better to work with reference images of people that don't have much clothes on is because you can then get a better understanding of how the muscles are working. So just over the top of that here, literally drawn over the top just to identify where those positions are. You get rid of your reference, and then boom, you've got your developmental construction of your character. Right, but it's breaking it down in exactly the same way. So we've still got our torso block, we've still got our pelvic block, we've got our pivot point, you know, the head, the arms, the legs, all just following that base of our reference image. Right, vitally important. Another reference image. This time the body's turned more towards off camera, and again we've got our reference image there. So you can see how just going from that reference, you would then be able to add the details in to create your character, all based off of that reference. All right, so for you guys, it's important that you get that you get a better understanding of anatomy by using references, because when you use references, after a time, it will just become more natural to you, and you'll be able to have a stronger sense of what's working and what doesn't work. Okay, so reference, very important. All right, it's easy to get reference images. I think I just type in pose, and then you'll get the option. This is in Google, so pose, and then you've got the option to select a photograph. Select that, and then that is how you get some really cool reference images. Like I said, go with people that are kind of dressed in like either this kind of gear, so you can see the way that the muscles are working, and you can get a better understanding of it. Because if that's all kind of drowned in clothes or really cool armor, then you're not necessarily going to get an understanding of how the body is working beneath all of that. Yeah, so so try that out.